What's up everyone, it's Motive. We're going to be doing another fast guide for last Epoch, this time on Beastmaster, doing a melee build based around Swipe and Earthquake. Let's get into it. First up, skills. Swipe. We're going to start with 2 points in Aspect of the Panther, 1 point into Feline Hunter, 2 points into Lion Strength. This is going to give us stacks every time we attack, dealing more damage and attacking faster. From there, we're going to put 2 points in Blood Beast, 1 point into Rending, 3 points into Duality of Nature. Every time we swipe, we'll heal a little and gain mana. That's the important part. With that out of the way, maxed out Aspect of the Panther, go ahead and put 3 points into Sabertooth Endurance and then 3 points into Twin Fangs. Now we have more crit chance. With that, if you've got any leftover points, put 2 points in the Way of the Hunt so we get some Leech, and then put everything into Wingarian Reach. Or you could decide to put 2 points into Coin to get Kill Threshold. Up to you. With that done, Warcry. You yell, push things back, they get stunned. We're going to go ahead and pick up 1 point into Juggernaut, so we're immune after using it. 1 point into Berserker, 2 points into Brutality, 3 points into Fury Strikes, and then max out Brutality. So in total, it'll be like 5-3, however you want to do it. But anyways, once we use Warcry, every time we attack, we gain a stack. It's very similar to Feline Hunter, but we'll just be getting a lot more damage off of this. With that, 2 points into Staggering Roar, 1 point to Apprehend. Now instead of pushing enemies away, pulls them closer to us, helps group things up so we can destroy them all very quickly. 2 points into Deep Roar, 2 points into Battle Cry, 1 point into Ferocity, and then max Battle Cry. This gives us crit chance. This makes it so when we crit and Warcry is already on cooldown, we may cast it again for free. Simple enough. Second damage ability is Earthquake. This is our main DPS, how we're going to be killing mobs. We're going to start with 4 points into Rupture, 1 point into Seismic Smash. Earthquake will no longer do aftershocks, so it really does just become this big old slam. As a note, if you want to take Seismic Tide, you can. It slows down Earthquake a little bit, makes it so it hits 3 times though. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it's a little more comfy to use without it. If you want to use it, go ahead and put a point into it. It won't hurt. As you can see, we only have 18, so you'll have the room for it. But moving on from there, let's go ahead and put 5 points into Crushing Wake, 2 points into Concussion, 1 point to Outbreak, 5 points into Shattering Quake, whatever. The whole big point here is we're getting multiplicative damage buffs. This one gives us 100% because again, Aftershock damage applies to initial hit with this. And then Shattering Quake gives us 150% against chilled enemies. We'll have a way to guarantee chill, so don't worry about it. You will never have to think about it. It is free damage. Extra points from there can go into like 2 points into Sunder, things into Harder They Fall, Fell Out Rupture if you want to. There's a lot of room for things in here. You could somehow find a way to go into Unabating to get extra damage, whatever. Moving on. Wolves. They're here to howl, nothing else. So because of that, 2 points into Savage Hunts, 1 point into Victory Howl, 2 points into Snarl. This makes it so when we kill, we have a chance for them to howl, and we get increased melee damage from it, more than usual. 3 points into Call of the Wind so we get some haste, and then 2 points into Battle Cry so that we can occasionally get the howl on bosses, and buff duration. Always nice. 4 points into On the Hunt, 1 point into Howl of the Might, 1 point into Safety in Numbers. We don't care about these, we just care about this. The more wolves that are up, the more of a chance that we can get howls, right? With that done, you can just dump points into here, go wherever the hell else you want into the tree. Maybe you want health on them, who cares? Last one, Summon Frenzy Totem. You put this down, you get a buff, just like everything else in the build. So 2 points into Rapidity, 3 points into Reckless Frenzy. This gives us a better buff. 3 points into Grounded, 3 points into Dig In. This gives us this tether that you see. We can kind of walk outside the range and still get some bonuses. That's because we have 2 points into Totemic Reach. Just know that as long as you're inside of it and as long as you're tethered, you're doing more damage. Throw some points into Reinforced Totem so that you've got better uptime on you don't have to cast it all the time, and you kind of got some leeway from there. I've been messing around with Dig Deep to get some better crit multi. You could focus on upgrading Rapidity or upgrading Totemic Reach so you can walk a little further away, but that's for the most part the skills. Next, let's go into the passives. We're gonna start with 8 points into Primal Strength, 1 point into Hunter's Restoration, 1 point to Harmony of Blades, 6 points into Survival of the Pack, 4 points into Tempest Spawn. The whole point here is we're getting a bunch of damage here in the early parts of the tree, getting a little bit of leech, and enabling us to be able to dual wield, because we want to dual wield with this. Coming over here into the Beastmaster tree, we'll play 8 points into Earthsign Strength, 1 point into Savagery, 1 point into Ambush, 5 points into Boarheart, 5 points into Porcine Constitution, and 5 points into Boarheart. I don't know why they have the same name. Whole point here is we're taking a lot of damage reduction. This gives us damage reduction to nearby enemies. This makes it so whenever we hit or get hit, the we hit parts over here, we can get Aspect to the Boar, which reduces the damage we take. This makes it so Aspect to the Boar further reduces the damage we take. The other side of this is every 5 seconds we get to get a buff whenever we attack to get Aspect to the Shark, which gives us increased damage and attack speed for 3 seconds. We'll later make that like 100% uptime, so don't worry about it. With these out of the way, we're gonna dip into Shaman. 5 points into Sky Warrior, 8 points into Tempest Form, 2 points into Windbringer. This is how we're getting our chill hit chance. So whenever you attack someone, swipe, earthquake, either one, you have a chance to chill. That's how you're going to get your extra damage from Shatterquake, so you don't have to think about it. This also gets us earthquake. Part of the reason why I'm saying like this is not a leveling build. You can use swipe to level early, but if you're using it to level, just go use the leveling guide I made. With that done, back to Beastmaster Tree. Now we're going to go ahead and put 4 points into life in the wilderness, 1 point in the circle of life, and then I want you to put 5 points into Cry of the Lynx. This will make it so whenever we use a companion ability, Howl, we get extra crit chance. From there, you can put 5 points into Ocean Maw, 5 points into Serrated Claws, and then 5 points into Ancient Might. If you get to this point and you're done with Serrated Claws and you feel like, man, I have so much damage, but I'm dying way too often, skip Ancient Might. Don't bother picking this up. This is just bonus damage that you may not need. Throw those points either into Life of the Wilderness or Avian Shelter. Both of them are very good. If you're lacking physical resistance, Avian Shelter is good. It also has more Endurance Threshold, and Endurance Threshold is a very underrated stat, and it's going to do a lot of work for you. Another kind of interesting opinion here, Ocean Maw. If you have an idol that says 21% increased aspect of the shark duration, you only have to put 3 points in here. You can end up putting those over here in one of these two we talked about before, because the whole point of this is we get 100% uptime with aspect of the shark. When you swing, you get this buff down here. You can see it's ticking down. That's aspect of the shark. And when it's finished, we got it even earlier because we have like the 5 points in. If I take this out, kind of the same thing. You'll see it pop up right when it ends. That's the whole reason we're taking it. We have 100% uptime now. Pretty nice. Hunter's Idol makes it so that you only need 3 points in there to get perfect uptime, as long as it's 20% or higher. Anyways, that's the passive, so now let's actually talk about the items. You'll notice I got a lot of uniques here. Not too important. Let's go ahead and throw on everything that I used to level for a long time. All right, elephant in the room. Dedication of the Race Primalist. Most of the relics I've ever found suck, so we're using this instead. +1 to all Primalist skills is pretty big. It's the most important thing on here. I really like the Endurance Threshold, but if you took all these red lines off, I'd still use this thing. So if you can get it, just slap it on. Hopefully you get good lines on it. But all my relics suck. Weapons. % increased physical damage is very important. Added melee critical strike chance is also extremely important on this build. With this setup, we have a 22% chance to crit because this is +10 flat melee crit strike chance. If it says something like this ring where it's like increased crit strike chance, it's not flat, and so it's helpful but not as helpful. Flat melee physical damage is good if it's like exalted. You don't really care if it's like +5, +10. You'd rather throw like some attack speed on here or something, but 100% increased physical damage, that's perfect. We really want that. The other thing you'll notice is on the suffixes on the bottom of both of these, we have % chance to shred armor on hit. Super good line to have. I've been targeting like these different sets of 3 for anytime I make a weapon for this build. It's been very good. Don't skip on the shred armor hit. It's really nice. For armor, you can see that we have like a bunch of attunement on here. Earthquake does strangely scale with attunement, so if you can find something that has like, this could be plus to strength and I'd still be happy with it, I'd use that instead. But we're mostly using this because it's got a really high implicit. You can see 180 armor, 40% physical resistance, a bunch of resistances on it. This helmet, kind of the same thing, really good implicit with cold resist and armor. It's got a bunch of health on it with the 16% increased. So the other lines are pretty shit, but we really like the health. Same thing on the amulet. Health, resistances. This did happen to roll some physical damage on it. So yeah, you kind of see where we're going here. Endurance Threshold, elemental resistant. This one's actually really good. A comment on this ring. So you'll notice I have tier 3 physical damage, but I prioritized crafting up the Endurance Threshold before I even touch that, because I don't want to just keep throwing more and more damage on this build. We do insane damage. I'll throw some clips up here right now. You can see I'm literally almost one-shotting bosses. So I just want defensive stats, and Endurance Threshold is a great one. Increased hybrid health on this belt. We have like 2 useless lines on it. Hybrid health and crit strike avoidance are super good. I wish I had more crit strike avoidance on here. You want to have 100%. I haven't found enough items to like throw in to make it work. And yeah, for the most part, that's like the generics of it. For idols, same thing as always. Most of these idols are like % health, resistances. That's really all I care about for this kind of stuff. Late game upgrades, because as you're playing, there is a big one, and the easiest one to get is Artor's Legacy. This gives you +1 to max companions, so if you took all the skill nodes we took for wolves, you'll end up having 4 wolves. Looks nice, but the big thing is it has 26% increased melee attack speed. This pair of gloves that are exalted attack speed can't even roll that. So this is like having a tier 7 increased attack speed line on a helmet. Pretty big, and it does come with like 50 armor, some health regen, and mana regen on top of it. It's a nice little piece. The next big one is going to be belts. I personally really like Tomb of Isidora or Shattered Chains. Those are two really good belts. Isidora's Tomb is way more armor, so it's a lot more defensive. Shattered Chains gives you still a good amount of defense. You'll see we'll go up to like 600 bonus defense because we put it on. That's 10% mitigation. And we get some increased melee damage. Let me take these wolves off so they shut the hell up. It also makes it so when you use a potion, it cleanses CC, but that's not too big of a deal. The biggest upgrade is going to be Hakar's Phoenix. This axe is busted for this class. You can use this on like damn near every build. +2 to primalist skills, so you can see here, like now all of a sudden I can put in 4 more points to swipe, so it basically is, like it's saying, level 23. Earthquake gets +4 skills. It's ridiculous. You end up just being able to like load a bunch of skills and do whatever you want with them. Flat melee fire damage, fire pin, a bunch of increased melee damage. So the big thing to know about this is once you have 2 Hakar's Phoenix, you should come here into Earthquake and go ahead and put 2 points into Sunder, 1 point into Cataclysm. This makes your Earthquake fire. It can't shred armor anymore, but it has like Ignite chance, it'll do fire damage. It's gonna do more damage because of the fire pin. We don't care about it in any other way, so any of these nodes that are like increased physical damage, once you're at this point, you want to swap those out for increased fire damage. Or just increased melee damage. Both should be very similar amounts. Yeah, that's pretty much everything with this build. So as a quick example of a DPS rotation, we're gonna go ahead and drop our Totem, we're gonna go ahead and Warcry, swing for a good bit, Howl to get us up to higher attack speed, and at 15 stacks, we drop this. You can see there, we did like 400k damage. With this setup, I've been able to do up to like 600k. If I gear myself a little bit better and get some like increased fire damage, I could end up hitting things like 1 mil. Like I've passed 1 mil before on like better setups, but this is all we've got for now. So build's pretty solid. The only other tip I have for you is if you're clearing maps, you can take off wolves and put on Fury Leap to just like clear them quicker, just be able to jump around. And with that done, we're gonna go ahead and say, if you liked the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're gonna try to do more like these. If you enjoy the fast-paced videos specifically, leave a comment down below letting me know so that I know that this is what people wanna see. We wanna hurry these up. We'll do our best. Peace.